It's January 28, 2019, and in 9 days, we are going to hear one historical announcement in the pro wrestling world, and we got the details coming for you right here, right now. Welcome back to Destination Pro Wrestling. My name is Tony, and you can follow me on Twitter at Tango with Thango. This is the YouTube news show where we discuss pro wrestling on a daily basis. I tell you guys what I think about the news, and you tell me how you feel in the comments down below. As always, click the link in the description. You guys can follow me on Twitter. We live tweet, do polls, a lot of interaction. We're building a community filled with pro wrestling fans, so make sure you guys check it out and let me know what you guys think. And with that being said, let's talk about Kenny Omega and the biggest news in the pro wrestling world. Guys, 2019 is going to be huge. Whether you think AEW will compete with WWE, today's news will be historical when it's officially confirmed. We've been talking about it for a while now. A lot of people thought Kenny Omega would have been in the Royal Rumble. I've seen a lot of people tweeting about it. But guys, Kenny Omega is not headed to WWE. We've already discussed this before. He turned down WWE, and he will, in fact, be headed to AEW. And, of course, AEW did a wonderful job of actually teasing this once more on Being the Elite. Now, if you guys didn't see this entire storyline on Being the Elite, it's all about a red smartphone, which was Kenny Omega's phone. It's an iPhone 8 Plus. He lost his phone. Now his phone has obviously been found, and there's a ticker for a countdown. Everybody already had their announcements made for AEW. Obviously, Marty Scurll is not going to be in AEW for right now because he's finishing up with ROH. But Kenny Omega finally found his phone in this episode of Being the Elite, which was dropped January 28, 2019. And on this episode, we officially got the real teaser, the real thing. It's the real deal. And there's significance behind this because if you guys don't know the date that I'm referring to, the 9 days away, this is going to be happening on February 7th, 2019, where AEW will be doing a live stream. They're doing like a pool party. Brandy Rhodes is going to announce some new female talent that is signed with the company, and AEW is hoping to use this event as a way to announce more talent. Now, one talent specifically going to be announced. Yes, guys, that's right. It's the cleaner, Kenny Omega. And the reason why this is actually such a historical announcement is because looking back 20 years, you know, if AEW happens to be a very, very large competitor to WWE, and whether you think they will or not does not matter. If AEW is successful in competing against WWE or truly being a big alternative, it's not even always about competition, but if they are a true alternative to WWE and their ratings and everything is good and they end up becoming a successful company, people will look back at the moment that AEW, a company that has never produced a full episode of wrestling just yet, obviously signing one of the biggest free agents in all of professional wrestling. And this is a big deal because if Kenny Omega never signs to WWE, it's always going to be that what if, what if he did compete with Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins? And look, that's the beautiful thing about this announcement. They're clearly teasing it. They're ready to go. They're ready to make this announcement. Obviously, the reason for Kenny Omega not making any announcement prior to this is because of contractual obligations. And that makes a lot of sense in this pro wrestling world. You got to follow the contract. There's been rumors that he would possibly be doing a dual contract, one with NJPW and AEW, where he can work for both companies. And whether AEW does have a working relationship will be very, very interesting. Some people are saying it's not possible, but we previously talked about this in another video, and it sounds like Kenny Omega might get the best of both worlds. We know that he turned down Impact, we know that he turned down ROH, and we know that he turned down WWE. And he's going to be wrestling with his friends. So I want to know what you guys think. Is AEW signing Kenny Omega to make him the world champion? What kind of role do you guys think he is? Obviously, he's a main event player already. So I want to know what you guys think. The rumored main event for Double or Nothing doesn't have Kenny Omega's name on it. So that's definitely interesting. But definitely more news to come. Guys, Kenny Omega headed to AEW. I think we've known this for a while, but now it looks like All Elite Wrestling is definitely giving you the teaser that you guys are all hoping for. In other news, we're going to talk about Cyborg possibly joining the WWE. Now, if you guys don't know who Cyborg is, she is a talented UFC fighter who just lost to Amanda Nunes in a super fight. Really quick loss. Very, very interesting. This happened on the Gustafsson and John Jones card. So a lot of people were talking about this fight. A lot of people were saying, hey, maybe Cyborg has nothing left, you know. UFC has done a lot to try to keep her in the UFC, but there's not enough talented people in that weight class, and between jumping up and moving down, there's just a lot of controversy behind that. So a lot of people are saying that Cyborg has been talking about going to WWE. And we've seen tweets before about Cyborg wanting to compete at SummerSlam against Becky Lynch. We've seen her tease these kind of things. So for a while, people thought Cyborg was actually going to go to the WWE, and then nothing ever happened. Then she said she wanted a Ronda Rousey match at WWE, and then nothing ever happened. But she's a fan of WWE. Ariel Helwani, famous MMA journalist, he's on ESPN now. He actually shared this picture of Cyborg at the Performance Center, and it's just being said that Cyborg was there just visiting, but there is definitely interest of her going to WWE, and WWE may have some interest of bringing her in. Now, what's really interesting about Cyborg is whether or not she actually stays with UFC, because we're at the point where nobody really knows just yet what's going on. UFC is making a lot of changes to some of the weight classes, and some of these divisions just may not be feasible for her. So whether UFC keeps her, whether she makes the full jump to WWE, it's definitely going to be interesting. And I want to know what you guys think, because a lot of people, you know, if you're a pro wrestling fan, you want to see some fresh faces. But obviously, you can't just keep signing all the indie talent. And sometimes signing a UFC star does help your brand. Obviously, we saw with Ronda Rousey. Whether Cyborg, you know, translates well into the wrestling world, I'm not sure. And that's definitely going to be the interesting thing here as to how well can she transition. But I want to know what you guys think. Cyborg possibly going to WWE. There's definitely interest from both sides. Whether it actually happens is going to be really interesting. But this photo is really, really, really good teaser, because as you guys know, there's been a lot of talk for a couple of years now about Cyborg. And whether or not this is a big deal anymore is really up to you. After her losing to Amanda Nunes in a really convincing fashion, I can see a lot of people saying, look, she's just not that good. And, you know, Ronda Rousey lost like 2 or 3 fights before going to WWE. It may not be the best thing for them to be signing a superstar who ended up losing as well. So when you see people lose, they lose some of their momentum, and sometimes you lose a little bit of that star power, and that could be exactly what's happening to Cyborg. And a lot of people don't really know if they care. Like, a lot of people don't really care if she fights in the UFC again. So this could be a good pickup for WWE and a big loss for UFC, but this might be the inevitable. And since we love talking so much about AEW and WWE, here's a story that you guys will all enjoy hearing about. I know some of the comments I'm expecting. So if you guys didn't see this video, this was posted on Twitter from Scrump1. And this is basically a video of a younger dude. He looks like a teenager, taking off his shirt because security had came up to him and said, listen, you can't be wearing AEW. And I don't know what the hell is going on here, guys, but it looks like WWE is really taking AEW serious. And, you know, for once, being a WWE fan, I just have to be real here. WWE, you guys look like the bad guys here. AEW has been open. The Young Bucks, all these guys, they said, listen, if you come to our shows, you can wear whatever shirt you want to wear. And I get it. This guy, he's going to be on TV wearing the AEW shirt. It's almost like it's inevitable. The camera's going to catch it. But WWE, it's a t-shirt. This is a ticket. Like, this is a ticket holder. Like, this is somebody who paid for their ticket. You cannot be telling people they can't wear AEW. I mean, seriously, like, if you guys watch this video, there's literally people saying, like, oh my gosh, there's people wearing Young Bucks. There's people wearing Bullet Club. Like, WWE, like, you got to realize it's okay to have competition. It's okay for people to wear other pro wrestling clothes. I love WWE, and I love watching Impact, and I don't like ROH, but I'll support it. And that's like kind of the reason why people even love pro wrestling, because you don't have to be a fan of one versus everything. Like, you could love everything and be a fan of everything. And, you know, a healthier pro wrestling industry is going to be not only better for AEW and Impact and ROH, but it's also going to be very, very healthy for WWE. And I'm not saying WWE has to even work with AEW. I'm just saying they really shouldn't care about a t-shirt. I mean, seriously, like, it's a t-shirt. And I will also give this person credit. Whoever is taking off their shirt, they seem to be handling it pretty well at the time. But as you could tell, this drew a lot of attention from people in the crowd prior to Royal Rumble. And I just really hope WWE realizes, like, this is not a big move. This is not a good move for them. It does make you look like the bad guy. And it's not the first time we've heard of this, but come on. Like, it's clothing with a logo on it. I get it. You don't want people promoting the competition, but, like, AEW hasn't even had a successful show. And maybe because you know Kenny Omega is going to AEW, maybe because you know Jericho's there, maybe you're starting to get the feeling that things are going to happen. And they will. AEW is going to create a little bit of buzz, but like, you're the biggest pro wrestling company in the world. You can't show that your weakness. And that's definitely been a big thing. So with that being said, guys, my name is Tony from Destination Pro Wrestling. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys click that like button, leave a comment down below with your thoughts and opinions, and as always, click subscribe.
You have reached your destination.